Hello everybody, Dr. Rick dropping in on you. I told you the other day when I did the intro on the importance of black love, black men loving black women and vice versa was a key to building generational wealth, that would be a follow-up. This is entry number 2. I know there's some things that have come in between it, but this is entry number 2 on that particular theme or topic. And before I get started, you know the routine. Look, if you like what you see in here, click the like button, click the share button. If you really like it and you want to make sure you remain in the loop on all the stuff that we release on this channel, subscribe. Also, finally and foremost, if you believe in the work we do and have done for more than 3 decades, from research to program development, from mental health to battered women and domestic violence to developing Black Men Lead, which is a rite of passage initiative that we are now trying to push into a universal dynamic of defining black manhood and teaching and aiding and developing young black males to grow into black manhood. So if you do all that, look in the description box, and there's a way that you'll see there's a way that you can show your love, show your support by donating. With that being said, growing up, I was reared by my great-grandparents. My grandmother's parents reared me, and my great-grandfather, who had a 2nd grade education, was wise beyond his years. He is the framework of my manhood, watching him and seeing him and how he took care of us, covered us, protected us, led us. He gave me a foundation that I wake up every day and attempt to live up to. And he used to always tell me that nobody is going to care about how you feel. People are going to care about what you do, and that's on every level, from when you start in the home on out into this world. And when I look at the need to develop black wealth, let me be very clear here. There's plenty of data out there. There's plenty of information out there. There's plenty of contributions from so many different people, especially Dr. Claude Anderson, on the importance of black generational wealth. Dr. Boyce Watkins has given you a lot as far as black generational wealth. So the idea isn't that we need to know we need wealth. So many of us don't understand the dynamic. Many of us do. We move based on our emotions, and it takes me back to what my grandfather told me, that it's not based on your emotions. It's not based on how you feel. We judge so much of what we see, so much of what we experience, so much of what we go through on emotions, how we feel about something. How many times have I looked up and somebody posted something and the response is, I don't feel that it's true. I don't believe that it's true. Not that I have invested time, energy, and effort into understanding this dynamic at a level that I can say, no, I believe it's X, Y, Z. I just don't believe it. And your feelings are always going to be based on your level of comfort. When you sit up and say it doesn't feel right, it means it doesn't feel familiar. Familiarity breeds comfort and complacency, and that's where most of us are. The problem is what we need to do are things we've never done. And you've heard me say this before as well. It's been a consistent part of my message because it remains a consistent and undeniable truth that we remain in last place. We remain constantly under the foot of others because we fail to gain a lucid perspicacity, understanding, and awareness of how things work. When you don't understand how things work, you are at the mercy of the people who do. When people study you, your gifts, your abilities, your emotions more than you do. When people sit up and evaluate how you respond to different stimuli, how you respond to different situations, where your strengths and where your weaknesses lie more than you do, you're at the mercy of those people because they know more about you than you know about yourself. And that's the thing when I look at it, and I talk about wealth building, and I talk about the need of for us loving one another, the need for us to be a unified people, the need for black men to love black women, the need for black women to love black men. It is not based out of a hatred for anyone else. It's based out of a pure love and understanding of how things work. We are constantly and consistently at the bottom of the socioeconomic ladder. There is an increasing gap in the median household wealth among whites and blacks. We're not narrowing. You're talking 100 and almost 160 years since our quasi-freedom in 1865, and yet we have not narrowed the wealth gap between us and whites. In fact, that wealth gap has widened. And then you have to ask yourself, how has it widened? It has widened because we are not aware of what's going on, because we complain and whine about things, but we don't understand the dynamics, how things are being played, the different policies in place, the different practices, how when we operate in a situation where we marry outside of our race, how that money is dispersed when we're dead or when we divorce, and what happens to that money when we marry outside of our race and money is developed and built, especially when you're talking black males marrying outside of the race. What happens? And again, I said this before, and I'm not going to go into it in depth right now because I don't have a whole lot of time. But I have said it and I covered it in the last one. So if you want to look at the last installment, the first installment, I talk about this whole erroneous idea that we don't control who we fall in love with. We absolutely 100% without a doubt control who we fall in love with. We choose how much money they're going to make before we'll engage them. We choose whether or not they have a record, a criminal background. We choose a bunch of things so we can choose whether or not they are from our ethnic makeup. We definitely do choose. There are just certain things a person isn't going to date, a certain person isn't going to sleep with, and all of that. And so you can make up in your mind that I'm going to love black. I have done it, and I have been exposed over the course of my life quite a bit to non-black females, and I am just here. This is who I am. This is what I desire. This is what I love. This is what I'm for. And no matter what happens with the black man and the black woman, what happens with me and black women, I'm going to always love black. And it's beyond. It goes deeper for me than just economic. The capacity to project what I develop, what I build, what I grow into the future down through my lineage to my progeny. It is a deep understanding of our history, a deep understanding of what we possess in the way of internally examining our experiential woes. In other words, I know from a genetic perspective how we carry our trauma. And because I understand that, I know no other person can relate to me on a molecular level like a black woman. And yes, I know that if I want to project my wealth and protect my people, as I am unapologetically black and love my people, then I must be willing to express that love in how I love. I talk about loving myself, and then I go out and I grab someone that does not reflect who I am. I should be able to look at my woman and see a side of myself. I should, That's the beauty of true love. It's a reflection of another side of yourself you don't get to see until you're loving someone. And it's no way I can look into the eyes of a white woman and see a reflection of me. This isn't anything against them. They are who they are, and they got the right to choose who they want and what they want and all that. That's not what I'm talking about. What am I going to get? I can't love me deeply and not see there's a problem with that. Because here's what I'll say, and whether it's black women loving white men or black men loving white women, let me tell you something. The moment that, especially when there's all these erroneous ideas, the moment that a black man looks at a white woman and feels her whiteness inherently makes her better than a black woman, however you've worked it out in your head, because she's more docile, not so, she moves different. And I've talked about that. We may get into the lethality and all that other stuff and a little bit later, but I want to talk about specifically. But the moment that you decide that inherently the white woman is better than the black woman just because she's white, subconsciously, without your permission, you have already declared the white man better than you. And then you're wondering why you're having a problem struggling, why you're having a problem with your confidence, why you're having a problem with so many different parts of who you are in the presence of whiteness. Is because you have declared them superior, even though they're not. Look, we've got work to do. On that note, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I'm going to click this. If you really truly believe in the work we're doing, if you want to really truly go deep and look into the work and support the work we're doing, I'm talking thousands and thousands and thousands upon hours of research. Stay tuned. I've got another segment coming on multi-generational trauma, epigenetics, and psychology, adverse childhood experiences, long-term health implications of all of the above, and how we must learn how to manage and heal from these past transgressions that have come against us so that we can function holistically. That's coming as well, so stay tuned. On that note, look, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here, but look in the description box if you believe in the work we do. Click the link and subscribe, but also donate. I cannot stress that enough. The work that's being done in the community isn't being done for free. On that note, I'm out of here. You guys have an unbelievable remainder of your day.